Make the ground shake.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kyle the Pug Podcast Show, episode number 12, and that is right, even episode, which means we are recording on a Monday. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2020, and yep, like I said, Penguin's work schedule kinda, flip-flopped it again, and they'll probably be like that for a while, but anyways, I am Kyle the Pug. If you guys didn't know that, well, you're either tuning in for the first time, or you know me, but you don't know me. Why? I don't know if that made any sense, but let's just go with it. But yes, I am Kyle the Pug. I do have two other people joining, but they'll be running a little bit behind schedule. You guys already know who those people are, as usual. We're not going to say any names, though.
Noet.
Noah and Noet. There you go. But Penguinator's here, so you want to say hello to everybody that's watching?
What up, bitches?
His signature, what up, bitches? But what's going on, man? How you doing?
Just doing. Trying to get this Pokédex completely filled out.
Yeah, you've been on that Pokédex grind. You've been a little late than never, but you're definitely trying to get that finished. And I'll see what I can do after the show to help you out, though, because I know you've been trying to get that Pokédex done before the DLC drops, which will definitely, this is probably going to be the main theme of the show today, is talk about nothing of the Pokemon DLC Isle of Armor, which, of course, over 3 minute video, but there's still a lot to talk about here, which is, absolutely nuts. So we're gonna get to that, though. So anything else you've been doing, like, outside of gaming, Penguin, apart from, like, Pokemon, BO3, like, what's your work schedule been? What's been going on in Penguin's world?
Work's been not too bad. So far, it's just night shifts right now, and we've been a little busy, of course, with everything going on, but other than that, nothing major.
I mean, but the night shifts, I mean, that's kind of hard, though, isn't it? Especially with all these protesters out, like, doing their thing. Not really doing their thing. Well, the peaceful protesting, that's fine, but then you got these, like, people, those looters at night that just, like, riot certain buildings, break into buildings, shoot, like, whoever's on site, no matter his people. Yeah, that's like the hard part about the night shift.
Yeah, luckily in my area, the first night, I think there was 5 arrests, and then after that, everybody's been peaceful that did show up.
Yeah, speaking of peaceful, yeah, my town over here, it actually had a very successful peaceful protest, so really pleased, even despite the fact that I kind of live north, like 6-7 minutes north, like one of the most dangerous cities in America, which it's not very major, but it's up to the point where you see, like, shootings like every other day. So
yeah,
and you even see it on the, like, especially on the news where I'm at, you like, oh, shooting in such and such place, like every Monday, Wednesday, or flip-flopped it, like Friday, Monday, Tuesday or Thursday, like the week, it's weird. It's honestly so weird, but it's ridiculous to what our world has become, though, nowadays. First we had the coronavirus, and that's pretty much like a sub-story now compared to what's going on. Like, we're kind of like fast-forwarding, here into June, we're going back into the phase 2 of things, and then all of a sudden, bam. It's just, I don't know.
Somebody posted a comment, they're like, well, we found the cure for coronavirus. Apparently it was protests.
I guess it was. But as for what I've been up to, I've been obviously getting prepared for the DLC and all that. Like I said, we'll talk about some Pokemon topics here in a little bit. But I've been playing a little bit of Clubhouse 51, and if you guys don't know what that is, definitely go buy it, because it has a bunch of games. It's like, all the party games you can play, like, of course, chess, checkers, table tennis, bowling. It has, like, even toy baseball. If you guys remember a little bit of the toy baseball, where it kind of has, I think, Penguin, you might be old enough to remember toy baseball and toy soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the games like that. And you have golf. What else is there? Oh my god, the list is just, like, endless. Like, slot cars you have. I gotta go back and take a look at the list, though, because it's super fun. You have Yahtzee. Blackjack, Texas Hold'em. It's the list is endless, and you have Solitaire, Spider Solitaire. The list is insane. Obviously, there's 51 games on there, but I'm having super fun with it. And I've played a little bit online. There's some parts of the online part that can be like kind of like there's like a delay, like a lag delay. Like golf, for example. Like I'm trying to hit the ball like at like a certain power meter. Like I'll stop right on it, but then the second delay will kick in, and then the power meter will just go like zhoop, and then I like will overshoot the green or something. I'm like, I didn't stop it there. And I feel like that's kind of like the problem, even with like a lot of the games that you play on, like even with like bowling a little bit too. There's like a lag delay a little bit, which kind of I think that's like I love the game personally, but I feel like my only issue, unless it's just me, like the lag second delay, which I don't know. I mean, I know Nintendo's not really the best with online stuff, but I feel in a way though, I feel it's if they can fix that, I believe the games will be super fun. Even air hockey is pretty fun though too. All right, but on that note, nothing really going much other since that. Like I said, like I said, DLC a little bit. I haven't really been on Animal Crossing too much. I've been kind of checking on villagers and all that. But other than that, nothing really too exciting. Nothing exciting at all whatsoever. But like I said, that's what's been going on with me for the week. And I hope everybody's having a good day, by the way. It is, like I said, Monday. It is a Monday. We are recording, as I mentioned earlier. And we'll get to our question of the night here in a little bit. But really quick, we were talking about the PS5 release trailer from last week. And that just kind of like got held up. And we were talking about this last week because it was supposed to be last week. And here's another funny thing. Well, not to go off topic or anything, but E3 was supposed to be like the remainder of E3 was supposed to be this week. So let that sink in for a little bit. So back to the PS5 here real quick. So it's June 11th at 1 o'clock Pacific time is when this when the actual full release trailer is going to drop. So I'm pretty excited for it, honestly. And hopefully without, any delays or anything. I really, really, really want to see what games they have for the PS5. And the most important question for every COD player out there, who thinks that the next COD is going to be, dropped during the PS5 release trailer? That's what I'm kind of curious to know.
I think it would be, in all honesty.
It
would just make sense with you're dropping a next gen, so you're going to announce one of like the biggest, next games, which is Call of Duty is one of the biggest games that people play.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, this has been a lot longer than I thought. Well, apart, coronavirus, protesting, all that. Mm-hmm. This is taking a little longer than usual, which I completely understand. They got to do their thing and their part to make sure the trailer's released okay, nothing wrong or anything like that. Which, like I said, I'm excited for it. I hope to see, what games they're going to come out with. And I know, obviously, Fortnite's going to be on that list somewhere up the line. It's going to be on the list, which kind of goes to show. And like I said, Fortnite, very popular. I think maybe Apex might make an appearance. I don't know yet for certain. But like majority of the Battle Royale games is probably what I would probably be thinking, though. But I don't know. That might be just me. But I would like to see some other, like future titles. That'd be like my most anticipated, what to expect. Obviously, everybody's saying, The Last of Us Part 2. That may have something, next gen PS5 related. I would be so shocked if Last of Us Part 2 was not like one of the games selected for PS5. I would be so shocked. Like, because that game's going to be like obviously a contender for Game of the Year. Even it's not even out yet, and you can already tell the game's gonna be up for Game of the Year. Which, like I said, Last of Us, that series, very popular. It's probably one of my top 5 PlayStation series of all time. And I'm just gonna, for the record, everybody's gonna be buying this game no matter what. So that game's gonna be making sales after sales after sales after sales, which, like I said, it's gonna be insane. But
Yep, most definitely.
But yeah, I feel like it's gonna break records on the PSN side for sure. But yeah, no, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's definitely different ones I think will break records when PS5 drops, like Assassin's Creed
Valhalla.
I think that one will definitely probably break a few.
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's actually a good point. Yeah, because you got those games coming out, and I'm thinking a God of War sequel. I mean, everybody's anticipating a God of War sequel, but imagine, yeah, like I said, I loved God of War was like the newest one, was one of my favorite games 2018. Probably like my favorite series of all time PlayStation-wise, and I'm kind of like a fanboy speaking out on it, but I wouldn't be shocked if they have a sequel for that on the PS5, because the graphics when they remade it for, well, not remade it, but like reimagined for PlayStation 4, absolutely beautiful. Like, as soon as I got the game, I fell in love with it. All the grinding and the hours I've done on that game, it's just absolutely nuts. I still need to beat that on hard mode, or give me God of War. Gotta do that. I still gotta beat that somehow, so I'll definitely try to see if I can get something going though. But yeah, I need to come back to that. I need to get back to that just to prepare for the PS5 event coming up on Thursday. But anyways, you want to add any last thoughts to that, or shall we move on?
We can move on.
Alrighty, time to get on to the real meat of the podcast today. So, everybody was expecting, what we were talking about, our predictions for, Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield. That got announced, like I said, I think me and Sean, we were talking about this. We were kind of like last episode, we were actually off by like maybe a couple days. I kind of knew I was like, Tuesday was going to be my second guess, but usually they drop things like Thursday or Friday. But hey, Tuesday's not a bad time to drop days though, so it's pretty cool. But yep, so Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC is going to be dropping June 17th. That is right, June 17th. That will be on a Wednesday. So take time off work, call in sick, do whatever you guys want to do. Because this is going to be, everybody that is a fan of Pokemon is definitely going to be playing this for sure. So for those who don't know what the DLC is going to be about, I'll fill you guys in here a little bit. So the Isle of Armor DLC 1 is going to be full of environments not seen in Galar, but you'll pretty much find wave-swept beaches, forests, bogs, caves, and sand dunes, obviously, in the DLC. And there's also plenty of Pokemon that make their island their home, living, free, that are not in the Galar region or the main story. And the island is home to a dojo for Pokemon battles, and you and your Pokemon will train hard to become even stronger. Under Mustard. Yeah, that's right, the guy's Mustard, we're Ketchup at. Okay, I'm sorry. The trainer who is the master of this dojo. So, imagine it was like Ketchup versus Mustard in Splatoon. Off topic. That should have been better than Ketchup versus Mayo. But
look out, here comes mayonnaise.
Yep, Mayo Chup. We were talking about that like a couple weeks ago. But, anyways, I'm super excited for it. And I want to break down some of the big pieces that actually happened in this trailer, which of course we'll get to Galarian Slowbro, Galarian Slowbro. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I want to talk about the list of Pokemon that were in the DLC that weren't even in the game. So these are all the Pokemon, and we'll get to the Gigantamax part here in a little bit, but all confirmed Pokemon that are returning. So we have Absol, Aggron, Azurill, Blissey, Bouffalant, Chansey, Dindini, Dragolige, Druddigon, Emolga, Executor, Fletchinder, Happiny, Horsey, Kangaskhan, Kingdra, Larvesta, Loudred, Luxray, Lycanroc, both midday and midnight form. I don't know about the dusk form, but that's kind of up in the air. Magmar, Magnemite, Magneton, Magnezone, Marill, Mineshow, Poliwhirl, Rockruff, Sandile, Scyther, Seadra, Staryu, Tangrowth, Tauros, Volcarona, Zoroark, and Zorua. They're all confirmed to be returning to the DLC. So we have a big list of Pokemon, and the list, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. That means DLC number 2 will probably have, obviously the expansion Pokemon. It's going to be even way bigger. So for those who wanted a semi-national dex, here you go. There it is. There it is, people, right there. But it's not all the Pokemon are going to be in it, though. So everybody's still complaining, like, oh, there's not enough Pokemon in there. I mean, obviously, they're going to take their time with it. Like I said, they're going to try to do something new. Just be grateful, like, you're getting some Pokemon back in it. And the list of Pokemon that I'm seeing in there, I love, like, majority of all those Pokemon that are coming back, obviously. Like, of course, a couple of my favorites, Absol, Kingdra, Lycanroc, Magnezone, Azumarill's another one. Yeah, I like water types because they're pretty much my favorite type. I'm kind of a fanboy for that, as I said before. So, yeah, Staryu and Starmie and also Volcarona are, like, one of my favorite mons. Just actually that I love to see come back. So, yeah, your thoughts on that? Are you super excited about that? And this gets to our question of the night. What are you most excited for on the Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield? So, Penguin, I'm going to leave it up to you, man. You're up.
I'm kind of excited that they're going to possibly be bringing Megas into it. I think they said a little bit down the road, and also the Gigantamax versions of like Blastoise and Ivysaur and some of the others will be
Venusaur.
in there as well.
Yeah, Venusaur. Yeah, they actually
Venusaur.
did. So they did confirm that. So they actually showed a little bit of the Gigantamax Pokemon. Their actual visual art is, I guess you would sort of say. So I'm gonna say this right now. both Gigantamax forms of Venusaur and Blastoise both look awesome, but I think my favorite as of right now, it has to be Blastoise. Just, it has turrets on the back of its shell. I mean, how many turrets is that? I'm looking at the picture right now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well,
it is
per spot.
All right, so can also move it's 12 large cannons on its back, which is insane.
Yeah, so it's got like 12 actual cannons.
Yeah, so 12 large
Like
cannons.
just went to Jamaica or something.
Oh, you're talking about Venusaur? It looks like a veggie burger.
Venusaur.
It literally looks like a veggie burger.
Just the top bun.
Yeah, it looks cool though. I mean, maybe I can try to at least. I mean, it kind of sucks though. I think it was told that I think you got to choose at least one of the two. I guess it's gonna, like, it already showed obviously Charmander, but Charizard obviously was already confirmed in the game, a long time ago. But I feel like, in a sense though, I feel like it's gonna make you choose between, Bulbasaur or Squirtle, just for Gigantamax purposes, and whatever Pokemon you choose, you're probably gonna keep that. But like I said, I would love to have both. Both are actually so cool. Because Venusaur is legit a veggie burger that you would see. I'm serious. Like, if you actually looked at the design of it, it's just, it screams veggie burger written all over it.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing, because it does look like that.
But getting so I want to go back to the beginning of the trailer, which we saw Tuesday. If you guys haven't seen it, obviously, definitely go check that out. Yeah, Galarian Slowbro now, which, as we mentioned before, we don't know what Galarian Slowpoke, or we don't know what Galarian typing it was going to have. So, Galarian Slowbro. It is a poison psychic type, which we have never had a dual combo of poison and psychic, which, like I said, it's kind of super cool, as I've talked about with Matt last week on the on his little review thing. I don't know if he had it uploaded or not, but maybe he did. I just probably didn't get a notification for it. But its signature move, which is I'm kind of curious about this one, Shell Sidearm. So the move may poison the opponent and inflicts damage based on whether physical or special would do more damage. So that's actually quite the interesting description there, because has been some times where actual moves from the game, like it could be like any sort of like signature moves, could either do physical or special, like depending on who has what higher attack stat. There's actually special attacks that can do physical, like actually deal damage to physical defense and vice versa, which like I said, Psy Strike, all that stuff, which is, like I said, all those moves have different unique abilities. So that's going to be something to see, though, in like a certain sense, though. But yeah, Galarian Slowbro, like I said, it's super cute. It's super. I mean, like I said, it's adorable. And somebody said it actually kind of looks like Thanos, but I don't really see the relation. I honestly don't see the relation to it. I mean, I know it's purple. It's got the sidearm cannon, and like I said, I completely understand that, but I don't know. But anyway, but on that note, what do you think about the typing? I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think on the typing.
No,
and like I said, yeah, but like I said, we've never had a psychic poison type, so should be a fun thing to see. I'm super excited for that. So I want to get to God, there's so much stuff to talk about here. I got all this list on here. It's insane. And we'll get to and they actually show part of the DLC too for the Crown Tundra. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I want to discuss the other new Pokemon, obviously the Pokemon that you're going to use. So, Kubfu, which is obviously, it looks so cute, but it looks like a badass at the same time. So, Kubfu is obviously going to be a fighting type. You're going to be using Kubfu throughout, I think, the majority of the DLC. I don't feel like the story-wise for the DLC, I'm not expecting it to be too long. Maybe like 4 or 5 hours, you know, somewhere around there. I don't know. Somewhere in that mix. And its ability is Inner Focus, which obviously prevents it from flinching. And then obviously Urshifu, which would be its evolution form, which it has the ability, which I'm gonna try to see if I can actually get this up here. So the hidden ability, like the new abilities that come out. I think I have a yeah, here we go, right here. So Unseen Fist. So what that ability does is the Pokemon can deal damage with moves that make physical contact, even if the target is protected. So if you, like, say if the enemy uses, like, you know, Baneful Bunker, like Protect or Detect or something, Urshifu will just go in and just like, nah, you ain't doing that on me. Bam, easy. It can still hit you no matter what. So, like I said, that's a really, really good ability, though, just to break the stall teams. I don't know if it'll be used competitively, though, but we're not going to try to go down that far yet. But we'll see how that works out. I feel like, yeah, this Pokemon's going to be super cool, though. I'm really excited for this Pokemon. But
I think they're going to have some good Pokemon all the way around with it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if you're just going to be using, you know, Kubfu for like the entire DLC, like you got to put your all the rest of your mons away in order to move on, or are you still going to use your current story mode Pokemon, like, or are you going to, you know, like I said, start fresh? I don't know. Who knows how that's going to play out, though. I feel like it's in a way, like, I feel like you're going to start off like fresh, but not like, you know, but your save file is going to continue forward to the DLC, which in my opinion it will probably make sense, but I feel like you're just going to do all the trials with Kubfu, and then after that, that's going to be That's gonna be like all she wrote. Like I said, maybe 4 or 5 hour, DLC story. I'm not. I mean, this island's pretty small, so it looks like it kind of reminds me a little bit of if you guys haven't played a Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, the Sevi Isles, Island 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like, I'm expecting it to be. It's kind of like the Isle of Armor. It's kind of like that size a little bit, but not like a lot to do. So I feel like it's going to be like somewhere around there, though. Which, like I said, I don't know if you guys have played the remakes of Pokemon Red and Blue, like on Game Boy Advance, but just kind of it kind of reminds me of that. But,
Yeah.
Anyways, you never played
There's
though.
some cool ninja ones.
Yeah, you never played Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green on the GBA. Yeah, you were kind of like you were a young penguin back then, but you were into the point where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of done with with Pokemon for right now until
Young penguin, what makes it all in waddling diapers?
Yeah, you waddled into his diaper. Okay, that sounds so wrong. You waddled into his diapers. I don't know. All right, so and going back to Urshifu here, so it can be two different. Obviously, it can be a fighting type, but you can make it into a dark type and to a water type, which I will explain what obviously the moves it can use here. So as soon as I can actually get to it. So here we go. So Urshifu's Single Strike, which basically it was revealed, like I said, way back when on the Pokemon Direct on January 9th, 2020. So Single Strike will pretty much ready to, people will basically call it the very embodiment of rage, which of course it's going to be a dark type. It's obviously going to have some rage, like, not symptoms, but like, it would have some like rage description in it, I would say. And basically, it will just banish evil spirits with its fury. That's all it says. So it'll probably be like definitely a dark type move for sure. What am I saying? Of course it's going to be dark type. Urshifu Rapid Strike will probably be like something, water related. And probably my favorite, like the G-Max form is probably like my favorite of the two. I mean, both of them are cool, don't get me wrong. But I don't know. It's just the way the blue one's standing, though, which has is like a defense form kind of, which I like it. I don't know why. Blue's kind of like my favorite color, but I don't know. It's just the way he's standing with the pose, though, is actually pretty awesome. But,
Well, it's like
yeah.
different Pokemon. Even there's, like, if you look at some of the shinies and where I've looked at them, and I'm like, you know what? The shiny is cool to have, but for some reason the normal has a better color scheme than the shiny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I've had those moments where I feel like sometimes the normal version's better than the shiny, but
Like Machamp.
yeah.
I don't like a green Machamp. I'm sorry, I just don't.
It looks like the Hulk kind of, but except with it looks like the Hulk and Goro from Mortal Kombat had a kid, but yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting because
I got this bad image of Hulk and Goro, and then you finish him.
Oh my god. And then you have Shang Tsung, sorry, I can't speak for whatever reason. Shang Tsung saying no, your soul is mine. But going back to Urshifu here real quick. Just wanted to touch up on a couple more things before we move on here. So, I feel like I was actually watching a kind of a theory video, like it was like the DLC is gonna start off with Kung Fu in a max raid battle or something that you have to catch it or something. But I don't know if you gotta catch it. I think it'll probably like be you go to the dojo. You obviously Kung Fu wants to go with you, and then all that. And that's where you kind of like start the journey with them together. And I feel like there's gonna be. Go ahead.
Maybe it could be like where when you first arrive, they have somebody there to greet you. It's like, welcome. Here's a Pokemon on us or something. And it's the
Kung Fu
one.
Yeah. So and then you're probably gonna go through different trials with it, like I was saying earlier with the fighting dark and fighting water. Like whatever trials you get finished with, you'll probably end up being with that certain type with Urshifu or Kung Fu, whatever you want it. Well, it's Kung Fu, but it evolves into a excuse me, the Urshifu, and then, like I said, you'll go through trials, and maybe you'll collect like a sort of item which kind of changes it into a certain type, which it would make sense though, because there's a lot of those items I've been seeing though with that lately. So, like I said, it's gonna be pretty exciting to see where they go with that. And like I said, it's a bear, it's cute, and it looks like a badass. That's all you need to know. But moving on here. So obviously we discussed Zarude way back when. Yeah, jungle healing, which of course it will heal both the Zarude and its ally Pokemon. It'll heal them in any status condition, so that'll be good for like doubles if you guys are into the competitive scene. But we touched up on that like way back when. So the other thing I wanted to mention was obviously we mentioned the G-Max Galar starter Pokemon. Obviously Rillaboom has its G-Max move, G-Max Drum Solo. Like I said, does more damage, ignores the opponent's ability no matter what it is. So say if you're going up against like a Clefable with Unaware, since the stat boosts are kind of like, you know, it doesn't even react to your stat boost, so it just kind of stays the same damage-wise. It'll just like go through it completely, and it'll just like do insane amount of damage. And same thing with G-Max Fireball with Cinderace and Inteleon, which of course it's G-Max Hydro Snipe, which I don't know why just the G-Max Mon or the G-Max form of Inteleon just looks so cool with it just being like perched up, just being perched up with a sniper rifle, with a water-like sniper rifle, just sniping, you know, Pokemon out of the air, which is insane. But my favorite, the Drum Solo one from Rillaboom. That's probably like my favorite one, hands down. Which, like I said, I played drums back in, you know, 5th or 8th grade, so just it just kind of reminds me. I want to use that. Try to make a little like a drum beat sound effect, but it just doesn't want to. It just wants me to turn out like Sans from Undertale for some reason. But yeah, G-Max Drum Solo probably might be my favorite move out of like the three. Not that, you know, the others aren't cool or anything, but I just picked that just because it's my favorite one of the two. But anyways, so there's some new moves that were released here that I do want to touch up on, which of course will lead up to the Isle of Armor number 2, which it's kind of like the real meat of Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC, which I feel DLC 1 is just like, you know, the main ingredient to what's coming up for DLC number 2, but it's a pretty cool little set of moves here, which I will get to it here, which I have it up here. So, Burning Jealousy, which is a fire move, and basically what the move does is the move creates a pool that damages all opposing Pokemon. So, like I said, double battles, but it could mean trouble if you're not careful. So, and then Grassy Glide, which is a grass move, which this move lets the user hit first if grassy terrain is in effect. So you'll probably see it maybe like a 40 base power or something. Burning Jealousy will probably be like maybe the same, somewhere around there. And I actually forgot to mention the Urshifu moves, or I would say Cubfu, or yeah, you could probably be Urshifu. Yeah, Wicked Blow and Surging Strikes, which both of those moves will always result in a critical hit. So that's how insane it is. So Penguin, I know you're kind of quiet though, but what do you think of those moves? What do you think, man?
I think they're interesting. Especially the one where it could really help you out when you're doing raids, where it's always a critical hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the power base is kind of concerning, honestly, in a sense. Which I know a lot of these, a lot of the moves that do like critical hits have probably like 70 max, I think. At least that's to my knowledge, but I don't know. It could have more power than that. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know, but I feel like it'll probably do like maybe 70 max in that sense. Maybe even lower, because I know that like there's like moves that are like under 70. Like there's a 45 power move that always results in a critical hit. I forgot what the move was called exactly, but maybe you would see somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, that's just basically me though. But whew, okay, God, there's a lot of stuff here. I really want to.
It's all Pokemon.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I want to touch up here with, like I said, they actually, this is kind of shocking to me when I was watching the video for the Pokemon DLC release trailer, that the Pokemon actually did announce their DLC 2, what Crown Tundra is going to look like, and that's not going to be released until like way later on in the fall, but they actually showed a lot more than we anticipated. So especially the new Reggies that are supposed to be released here. So one of them I'm kind of upset about the name. Not really upset, but Game Freak kind of took an L on this one with their name, which they had missed opportunities with this name. I'll explain why here in a little bit, but I want to start off with Reggie Draco, which was obviously the first Reggie I want to get to, which is obviously a dragon Pokemon. So, and its signature move, and I was just we were talking about signature moves earlier, it's just called Dragon Energy. So basically, the higher the user's HP is, the more the move's power. Like, basically, it does more damage if you have full HP. So it's basically like Eruption and Water Spout, basically. But it's a dragon
move.
Don't
lose HP while you're using it.
Yeah, so this thing is probably going to either be like Choice Scarf or Choice Spect or something. I don't know what the speed stat's going to be, which, I mean, I don't know. It's somewhere around. But yeah, you are right, though. Just don't lose HP when you're using it. And then like I said, Reggie Draco. I like this. I like the name. It's super cool. And the folklore, I was actually reading this. The folklore behind it was really, really interesting. Which I read that it's supposed, like, a scientist was supposed to make, or I don't know if it was, no, it wasn't a scientist. It was it was Reggie Gigas. It was supposed to create like another Reggie, but it kind of like failed due to the fact that it was going to be like so overpowered that it was going to destroy humanity. So everybody, and Reggie Gigas, they just sealed it away in a temple, never to be seen again until, obviously just recently. And speaking of, the Reggie temples, which we did see in the Crown Tundra part of the Pokemon DLC, if you haven't played Pokemon Platinum, I'm pretty sure Penguin hasn't, but for those who are watching, if you haven't played Pokemon Platinum, there is a puzzle, obviously, if you actually get to the Reggie Gigas event, which kind of opens up the Reggie temples, like near the areas of the Sinnoh region. Those puzzles, and I did like a little side-by-side picture too. I was telling somebody about this the other day. It is the exact same puzzle as Pokemon Platinum, which that kind of boggled my mind a little bit. It's like, how's this gonna play out? Like, are we gonna go to some unknown area, unknown region, where we gotta do these same puzzles over and over again, or do we have to time travel back in the past? And I'll get to the Pokemon here that kind of time travels here in a little bit. But what's the plan here with these puzzles? Like, I kind of caught this, but it's the same exact puzzle as Pokemon Platinum. I don't know if you did catch it, but that just blew my mind a little bit.
I guess they're just running out of ideas.
Well, maybe that, or probably just... Hey, sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes that is not
or it could be a hint that they're, for later down the road, maybe it's Easter egg in itself, to where they're going to bring something back from Platinum later down the road.
Or we might have to go travel, like, into the past to a different region, which, like I said, I will get to the Pokemon here that's, was announced here. I think that was announced, like, later on. Maybe I gotta find the list here for it, which, Reggie Draco, and then obviously we'll get to the other Reggie's name here in a few seconds. But I think it was, oh my god, I think I had it, but I forgot. I think it's Calyrex. Yeah, Calyrex was on there. So this kind of dawned on me a little bit, since it can see through the past, present, and future. Do you think, and I'm kind of, you know, putting this into speculation. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Do you think time travel will be involved in DLC 2?
I wouldn't put it past them, in all honesty.
But this is the thing, though. I love time traveling in video games. That's like one of my most favorite underrated things, is just time traveling in video games just by itself. And to be honest, if there was a point like we time traveled, like, you know, the past to the future or something, see what would have happened if, you know, certain legendary Pokemon like got free, went out of control, lost its power, destroyed everything. Like, that would be, it would give us like certain options. Do you think there will be certain endings though? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
If they did time traveling, I think they would. Hopefully, they would make alternate endings depending on what you did in the past if you traveled.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like every decision you make affects the ending. Like, I wouldn't say have a million different endings you could do, but have at least maybe 2 or 3 alternate endings depending on what you did in the past, which would be kind of cool. Because in that way, it would also bring in replayability to where you'd want to go in the past to get this other ending because you didn't get it the first time.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's the decisions for that's up in the air. I mean, I don't know how that's gonna be played. It'd be a nice little niche, like a nice little touch to it, because we never really had alternate endings in Pokemon, so it'll be something new. But at least to me,
it could be whatever Pokemon you fight at the end of the DLC will be different depending on your choices in the past.
But here's my speculation on it. Are those temples like are they connected to the Sinnoh region? Like, I mean, everybody's talking and speculating. Oh, Gen 4 remakes. I mean, it's going to be happening, you know, on the Nintendo Switch sooner or later. But will they play a part though? Like, will anything Sinnoh related play a part? Which I'm kind of curious about that.
It's 50-50 at this point. In all honesty, I mean, we can kind of speculate, but at the same token, we're not in the minds of the developers. So, and they've been kind of secretive, where they just randomly drop a trailer here or do something there. So for them to do something totally, you know, off the wall, it's not. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same token, you can't really. Yeah, they're going to do that.
Yeah, I got you there. But I'm gonna be more on the 60-40 part. And I'll explain here in a little bit. I know it's kind of like crazy, which I feel like the 60% part, at least to me, I feel it's going to be, you know, they're going to have some connection with the Sinnoh region, excuse me, which like I said, I mentioned the puzzles earlier were like the same exact, you know, layout, dots, everything. And obviously the original Reggies are going to be there. Regirock, Regice, Registeel. They're all gonna be in there. Like, obviously that's where the temples obviously come from, which, like I said, super cool to have. And like I said, a little homage to Pokemon Platinum, but it could be like, you know, they could have some connection with that, which I love finding those sort of Easter eggs in those sort of games, no matter if it's like Pokemon or anything like that, like just anything of that area, which kind of goes back. I want to go back to one more Reggie. I was going to discuss this real quick, and I think this is, like I said, Game Freak kind of took an L on this one. Reggie Alecki. That just doesn't really sound like something I would call it, honestly. Like, Reggie Bolt, Reggie Volt, Reggie Shock, those names could have been, like, way better. It's way, 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 way better. But instead it's Reggie Alecki. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just, I feel like they could have done it like way better names for it, honestly. At least that's just to me, though.
That sounds like somebody that just got arrested.
And I will get to its signature move here, which it's Thunder Cage. And what Thunder Cage does, it's the move basically traps the opponent for like a good number of turns. I'd say it's like a fire spin kind of move a little bit, which kind of traps the opponent for like 2 to 5 turns, which thank God it wasn't back in Gen 1, because in Gen 1, if you used Fire Spin or Wrap or something, yeah, you wouldn't move for like 2 to 5 turns. Especially if the opponent was faster than you, you would be kind of trapped in a real world of hurt. So, and which is that would be pretty annoying though. But and the other thing I wanted to mention here, like I want to go back, I want to get to the Galarian Kanto birds, the trio Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. If you guys haven't heard by now, they got new types now, which yeah, it's pretty funny, but they look super cool at the same time. So we have Articuno, obviously, Psychic Flying, and Zapdos is Fighting Flying, and Moltres is Dark Flying. So they got brand new types. They're no longer Ice, Electric, and Fire. Instead, they're Fighting, Psychic, and Dark. So what do you think of those types? Have you seen the? Have you actually seen the? Have you actually seen what they looked like though? Which is
yeah, which is some of them. They look pretty cool.
I think my favorite, personally, it has to be the Articuno one. Like, how can you not like the Articuno like variant, or the Galar form, I should say? Which, oh man, it just, when I saw the Galarian version of Articuno, it had me sold. I'm gonna be using that bird a lot as soon as I, get it. Like that's like way down the line though. Yep. But that's just me. That would be just me. But if you guys have a different favorite, like I said, just let me know. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what you guys are favorites. Like I said, this will be uploaded on the YouTube side, in the description or the comments. I don't know what I say, description. Yeah, if you guys have a favorite, what your Galarian bird, if you guys want to tell me your favorite, comment down below. But yeah, like I said, all the birds to me look exceptionally cool. Like Moltres looks like a dark demon bird, and then you have Zapdos, which is probably like the most underrated one, which is the legs of it are just, if you haven't seen Zapdos, it's honestly, it looks like not a fighting chicken, but it doesn't, well, like I said, it doesn't look like a chicken at all, but it's more of a I don't know how to describe it though. All I just know is that it looks like a spiky roadrunner, I guess. I don't know, like somewhere around there.
Spiky road, there you go.
It's somewhere, like it has the legs of it, but I don't know. But to their signature moves though, which this kind of caught my eye a little bit. Which obviously with Articuno, it has Freezing Glare, which is a psychic move, and this Pokemon basically attacks firing psychic powers from both of its eyes, and the move may also leave the target frozen, which is kind of interesting because this is the first ever non-ice move that we had could actually freeze the target, and basically this is Articuno's signature move, which is insane. A psychic move that can freeze, just like staring into your soul. It's just like that. Ice Ryujin, everybody.
I said I was gonna be here in 45 minutes, and you start without me, and I've got some Pokemon topics of myself that I want to talk about.
Hey, like I said, you can talk away. You can talk away.
I've got to go let in my chug real quick, and then I will come back, and I've got something that you might be interested in. I don't know if it's going to be a legit thing, but it's a concept
by all
that somebody
means
asked me about, and I was like, I gotta ask Kyle how sick that would be.
Hey, by all means, ask away, and then tell it. Like I said, once she comes back, she's ready for that. So let me finish up here before she comes back, real quick on the move set, or their signature moves rather, for the Galarian birds. I think Zapdos, which is obviously Fighting Flying, will have Thunderous Kick, and that's obviously a fighting move, and the Pokemon overwhelms the target with lightning-like movement before delivering a kick, and it also lowered the target's physical defense stat. So that's going to be a signature move by Zapdos, which it'll be super powerful, and it'll lower the physical target of the enemy on the enemy Pokemon, which, like I said, very super cool move. Like I said, super excited for that. And the other one I wanted to mention here, let me just pop this back up real quick. Fiery Wrath, which is a dark move, obviously. It'll be Moltres' signature move. The Pokemon will transform its Wrath into a fire-like aura to attack, and it'll also make the opposing Pokemon flinch. Like, I don't know if it's like 100% chance to make them flinch, but just to make them flinch like in its own right, which is very, very cool.
Yep.
But that, at least to me, though. But I don't know, like, what's your favorite signature move out of all that? I'm kind of curious to know.
I don't know. I'll have to go back through them again and just read them. In all honesty.
So, yeah, that's just going to be that's just my personal favorite. I mentioned this. Articuno was my favorite Galarian version of the Mon we saw for the DLC. And I'm just going to put its signature move in there, too. Just because it's a psychic move, it can freeze the target. And this is the, like, very first ice move. Not very first non-ice move, I should say, excuse me, that could actually freeze somebody, as I mentioned. Like, can you name any other, non-ice type moves that can actually do that? That's nuts. That's insane.
Yes. I would say that's probably going to end up being my favorite just because it's unique.
Yeah, it kind of has the Cyclops vibes a little bit in a way, where it fires the lasers out of its eyes like psychic-like lasers, which is, oh man, that's just, I'm super excited for that. I don't know about you guys, but everybody's saying like, oh, Zapdos, the flying type, that's their favorite. Moltres is up there too. Like I said, I love all the Kanto birds. I grew up with them, so they all got a special place in my heart. But I guess, and I was mentioning before, something about Articuno just completely sold me. I'm just sold on it, so I'm ready to I'm ready for this DLC, nevertheless. So as we wait on Ice to come back to talk about her theories and such, I do want to touch up here that, again, on June 17th, Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC 1, Isle of Armor, will be out, and that's 9 days from now since we're recording this, and so basically, like a little bit over a week. It's when it gets released, so it should be released on, the 17th. It's on a Wednesday, I think. So, Penguin, I think I was gonna mention, I thinking you're probably working on that day.
Yeah, I'm working night shift, so I'll probably be asleep most of the day just so I can be ready for it.
Yeah, so you've kind of flopped with your work schedule, so I can see that Ice is back.
Oh yeah.
So if you wanted to mention some things on the show, Pokemon related, ask away or talk about it.
So, now I've been watching the trailers and everything, and I've been watching and following along with you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, okay? Now I don't know if these forms are actually gonna make it, like, as in like the enhanced version that are already in the game, like the Necrozma Solgaleo combo. But there's been a rework for concept art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suggested, right? They're thinking about actually taking Necrozma's original colors from, like, the original Pokemon that it was before it became Necrozma, like, adding the vibrant colors and everything back into them. And having, like, little gilded flames across the back of, like, Solgaleo and Lunala whenever they're, quote-unquote, possessed by Necrozma.
Actually, I actually combined those, I think, Solgaleo and Necrozma the other day. I think somebody traded me a Necrozma on Pokemon Home, so I kind of combined them both on Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yeah, the Necrozma Sun form actually looks badass, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're thinking of adding, like, someone suggested reading off of concept ideas on Reddit. Like, I've stayed away from, like, spoilers and everything and data hacks and all that shit. Like,
we're 9 days away, so that's gonna be real.
There's a guy that suggested that, like, for the Necrozma Solgaleo, a rework should be done, and, like, with red and blue flames coming across the back where the crest
like a Galarian form, kind of.
Yeah, like to
Okay.
make it distinctual.
Yeah, I mean that'd be
Like
kind of
it would
interesting though.
glow and
I
everything.
don't think it'll happen though. But Penguin was actually mentioning the possible data mine. We were talking about like certain mega evolutions or mega evolution stones that were coming out. Like obviously
Yeah,
the no
supposedly all the main ones are coming back.
like the most popular one that I read was obviously the red orb and the blue orb for Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre, which that was like kind of like I think it was like 3 weeks ago I saw that, but those were like the big main the mainstream thing that was everybody was talking about. Like everybody loved Primal Groudon and Kyogre and
Oh yeah,
Rayquaza's Dragon Ascent form. I forgot the name of what that was
the
called, but
Delta.
yeah, the Delta form. Yes, those everybody was talking about that, and they all want to see those come back. But that's
And
just
another thing that's just wanting to pop off is like, by the way, just so you know, I've saved up Watts since way back whenever the expansion pass thing just first popped up on the game, right? I've been saving up Watts and everything, and now I have over 237 wishing pieces ready to go.
Oh, you have. I mean,
And
I
I'm
have.
still collecting.
I have over like 6 million, watts. I could actually get like 999 wishing pieces if I wanted to, because I've actually done the. Yeah, I'll admit I've done the date skipping format where I wanted to get certain. Yeah, I wanted to help out people get certain Gmax Pokemon,
really-
like way back when,
I
like
don't really
before
consider
people did
that's-
that.
Like, in a way, would you really consider that's, like, cheating in a way, considering the fact that all you're doing is trying to rotate what Pokemon are in there?
Yeah, I mean it's
Pokedex, you know what I mean?
it's kind of a cheap little tactic just to get a lot of watts right off the bat. But I mean, if you're helping other people, then I don't see like the point of everybody saying, "Oh,
And
you're
doesn't
just
cause
cheating and
you
hurting."
to
Yeah,
complain,
exactly.
Otherwise, that would have been patched day one. I
yeah.
don't consider that as cheating, but that's just me.
Most of the time, like people are actually, I think Game Freak, from what I've seen, is like people are actually, trying to disconnect from rank battles, and that's the only thing that Nintendo and Game Freak are actually doing is just disconnecting, from certain rank battles online against other people that, once they like get, completely destroyed or they lose or whatnot, and people are banning accounts that are actually the people at Game Freak are actually banning accounts that are doing that. So that's like the only thing I know from apart from Game Freak banning certain like people trying to like keep a perfect record or something. But that's fine though. I can handle that. But yeah, this one is just I feel like it's just not so much. But because people have like hacked modded switches, right? And they'll do like mon raids that are just like they're not even part of the game. They'll have like missing no raids, obviously, where you can get like 999 bottle caps. I mean, people will do that, but like Nintendo, like somebody was mentioning to me this the other day, like people can kind of get away with that, but Nintendo won't add cloud saves, which, like I said, like I don't know, I can't understand why Nintendo doesn't have cloud saves, nor do I ever understand why they probably should do it. Like, don't get me wrong, they should do it, but I don't know. It's just Nintendo's a little bunch of cuckoo birds, I should say. I was trying to find the right term for that, but I guess they're a bunch of cuckoo birds for not adding cloud saves. And this is just for like any game too, not just Pokemon, but Animal Crossing's another one. Splatoon's obviously up there too. I think maybe Breath of the Wild was up there. I'm not sure. I gotta go back and look at that. And also Mario Odyssey was another one as well. But unless you got rid of your save file, then that's just like, what can you do at this point? But anyways, anything else you want to add, Ice? You said you had a lot to talk about, so I wanted you to chime in here. And I think she left apparently. I don't know where she went. She's like, ugh. She wanted to say those one things, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Stay. Bye.
Okay, bye. Sorry, you said you want.
Oh, there she is.
Sorry, I was just sitting here listening.
Yeah, sorry. You said you had some more stuff to add, so I'm all ears.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here's an idea for a move that somebody suggested, and I actually like the idea of it, but I don't know how it would fit. combat-wise, and because like you're my go-to expert.
Ooh, I'm the expert.
So someone suggested this check. Well, yeah, compared to me, bro. Like, no. I really haven't touched competitive stuff since like Gen 4. Okay, but
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't done any ranked battles since I don't know, like I'd say January or February, somewhere around there. So I'm kind of in the rusty part of that sort of area when it comes to. But I know I've studied a lot of it, so I could probably tell you if I like it or not.
So there's someone that wants to like, because you know how back in the day, like even whenever Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee came out, like there was this cheap tactic in competitive that I saw like continuously being used, and I just wanted to avoid it. That's why I stopped playing competitive or even thinking about it. I was gonna go back into it, but you know how people could use status effect moves like Toxic and just sit there and use like self-healing moves over and over again, right? What if like there's a move that someone suggested and they wanted to call it like Dynamo, or they said you could change the name if you wanted to, but what Dynamo would do is for a percentage of health remaining, if the Pokemon uses this Dynamo move or whatever, right, it would take a percentage of their health that's remaining, that's about half the like special attack of the opposing Pokemon or whatever, if they could either remove negative effects from their own Pokemon, and would it be worth it?
I know that there's like a couple abilities. Like I was actually talking about Unseen Fist, Urshifu's. Well, I'll get to that here in a little bit. Like Unseen Fist was like the ability I was talking about earlier with Urshifu. And if you guys don't remember what that ability does, as I mentioned it before, it negates Protect, Detect, and Baneful Bunker. And obviously, you can just like it's like the anti-stall sort of. I don't know if it'll be allowed like in ranked battles, because I know that's going to be super overpowered. But you know how Game Freak is. Basically, we just want to keep people like for example.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
if they add it, it should be like balanced. Like it misses if it's a repetitive use or whatever.
Yeah, an underrated
with, like,
wall
and all that stuff.
An underrated wall I've used, Quagsire, has the Unaware ability, and everybody knows what the Unaware ability does. It just ignores the opponent's stat changes. So even if you had like a +6 something, Quagsire is still gonna wall you, like physically. But Toxic and Recover, yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, it has the like, it's luckily for Quagsire, like that's more of an egg move, like Recover, and Toxic you can actually learn like through the tutorial DMs,
So
I should say, or
like,
the
prevent,
I can't even speak.
Prevent, like, say, a Squirtle using its hidden ability, Water Dish.
Oh no, that's
like,
something completely different.
Like just continuously using Rain Dance every 5 moves, and then just slowly regaining HP on top of leftovers.
Oh no, that's just for the stat changes. Like actually, there's
okay.
So I'm trying to think of the ability. Oh yeah, Mold Breaker. Yeah, Mold Breaker and Stalwart.
Mold Breaker, the one that Haxorus has, yes.
Yeah, Mold Breaker, yeah, Excadrill has that too, and Stalwart is the other one. Through I forgot the name, Darulodon. I think I said that right. Forgive me if I didn't say it right, but yeah, that's Duraludon. Yeah, that's the hidden ability that it has. So it just, and obviously the G-Max moves that the Galar starters have will do more damage, and it'll also ignore the Pokemon's abilities too. On the opposite end.
So do you think that it would kind of be like, pointless in having that, or do you think it would like?
I wouldn't say it's pointless.
Have a beneficiary kind of thing, as a last resort.
I wouldn't say it'd be pointless, but if it's more of a last resort thing, then it's pointless at least to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just, it's just even competitive Pokemon battle. It's basically like a chess match. You got to outplay your opponent. You got to have your opponent like adapt to your play style. I remember hearing that from somebody on their stream the other day, and that's absolutely true. Like you got to play to your advantage and not sucker into your opponent's play style. That's all it basically is at this point. But,
Yep.
But even you ask. Well, I would say ask Penguin, but I don't think Penguin's ever done that sort of thing.
I pretty much don't do like competitive on a lot of games, just certain ones, because like she was saying, I always usually end up, in my luck, I end up against those guys that have done I'm going to hack it, or I'm going to use a cheat or something or an exploit.
And you
I
see
always
that
get my ass handed
happening
to
a lot
me.
right now, especially with Pokemon Shield, but you're slowly seeing like recurrence of that towards the beginning. When I first played an online match, that's what I noticed, and then I was like, all right, never mind, no, get me out of this right now. It's slowly, from what I've been sitting back watching people play online. I'm trying to formulate a team if I wanted to just play for fun and see if I had a decent lineup. You never know what kind of ability can top the other unless you do research or whatever. So I've been sitting back, just trying to watch and learn from watching pro players do it. Like A Drive, and that's just name one that I know of. But the one thing that regardless of anything, even with type advantage or type disadvantage, you never know what's really going to happen, because either side could technically come on top with either just moves alone or vast practice based off of if it's either a doubles battle, can you play off of
I usually do more doubles
advantage and some kind of thing, like Trick Room, say for you
Trick Room's
Trick Room with
super
Celesteela
popular.
from back in Sun and Moon, right?
Hatterene's another good one
Mimikyu.
for Trick Room.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think for future references, they're gonna either change how that comes about as the seasons progress for Sword and Shield. But another thing that someone was talking about whenever I was reading through, they were thinking redoing some Galarian forms of some wanted Pokemon that they wanted brought back in, and that made me think, let me ask Kyle what his top 3 to bring back would be.
My top
let's
3
talk about the good old
Galarian
days from Gen 1 to Gen now, what's the top?
There was one that kind of popped in my mind, but I don't know how this would work or not. I would love to see a Galarian Absol. But Absol was one of my favorite. It was underrated Hoenn Pokemon.
Severely underrated.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't the best, but if you knew how to use it, it would actually demolish a lot of enemy Pokemon for sure. Which and I was thinking it was going to be more of a dual typing. I would say it would Dark Ice type would probably make the most sense, at least to me. Which
probably, because isn't that Absol was referenced as the disaster Pokemon whenever every reference, even in the anime, the manga, everything leading up to that point, Absol was never really backtracked as it
warned people of disasters. That's the thing. It warned people of disasters. But imagine
which
just
alone by itself, you could say that it's a pretty powerful Pokemon if it can do that, right?
Yeah. Instead of warning people about disasters, what if it just destroys everything?
Awesome.
It has
Yes.
blizzards and snowstorms. That's why I said, a Dark Ice type. That would be
right.
That would be insane. I would love to see a Galarian Absol, hands down, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%. That would be probably one of my top 3. Because by stats and natural stat boosting and everything on its own, just from power leveling that damn thing, imagine the moveset that it could actually potentially receive up until this point.
Oh, it'll be a physical. Well, you could kind of put it like a mixed attacker, but Icicle Crash would probably be
someone had that in their top 3 slot, but they said that it could classify more as a dark psychic type, or even a psychic ghost type.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But my second one,
That's Gen 1 through now.
Well, I'm gonna go with a Gen 7 type, or a Gen 7 mon. I don't know if this will actually happen though. I would like to see a Galarian Lycanroc. I know it has multiple.
Lycanroc is coming back in Crown Tundra, isn't it?
No, it's Isle of Armor. It's gonna be right off the rip.
Coming back that soon.
Everybody loves Lycanroc, and I know it has 2 different forms of it, but a
Technically
Galarian.
3 if you count the mid evening.
Yeah,
the
like I said,
preview
midday,
variation,
mid-evening, and
like-
then midnight, where it kind of actually has that werewolf-like form. But I could, oh man, like imagine like a Galarian form, like an actual fourth form. For the typing,
Oh
I
my-
don't know what I could see it being. Maybe like, definitely like maybe a dark type. It'll probably keep its dark type, but like maybe, ooh man. What about...
I could see it
I would
standing
say-
strong as one of the toughest grass types as well, if you think about it.
I would say either steel type or maybe this is just like a shot in the dark, like a ghost type,
Ooh, could you
like
imagine?
a Sableye, which it's only weak to like fairy. I don't know. I'm just taking a shot in the dark. I
That would
don't
be
think
kinda
it's
cool, though.
yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen though. But it'd be kind of dope. Like that was like the first thing that would pop in my mind. Just have like
I
just
have
you
one
know.
word,
Actually, wait a minute.
and you
Now
tell me
that I
how you
thi-
feel about it.
Hold on, wait a minute. But now that I think about it, like the Galarian, like two forms of it will be Galarian. Like obviously the one will be like Dark Ghost, and then the other one would be, you know, I would say, well, not Psychic Ghost, but I would say it would be. Oh man, I would say Psychic Rock. I know it still has the rock form for it, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just randomly taking
it
shots
kind
in
of
the
makes
dark.
more sense with its abilities.
Yeah.
So I could give that. Because I mean, on accountability, you know, the move Stone Edge in itself is kind of like a psychic type, because it gives it that blue aura, and it's like
Mhm.
manifesting Earth from the ground. You know.
Okay,
So
but
I could definitely see that.
yeah, what were you saying though?
All right. So one word. Like this is another one that another top one that I kept seeing over and over again get mentioned.
Mhm.
And it's a dragon type. But this one would be interesting to see how they incorporate it in, if they actually were to bring this one back. Garchomp.
Ooh. Garchomp.
Just that one. Just that one.
Garchomp's supposed to be in the DLC, which I could see ooh, this is actually kind of an easy one for me, because it has like a shark-like you know, fin on the top of its back.
And it
Water-
and its
water
head is
dragon.
Kind of like, looks like almost like a.
It's
You could say it almost looks like a hammerhead almost.
yeah. So my Galarian form of that would be 100% water dragon, 100%. That's
And a lot
just
of
me though.
rumors that I've been hearing lately is that potentially we might be seeing Fungus.
Oh,
brought back
it's
into the
oh
mix.
Fungus, Amoongus. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
already it's confirmed.
Fungus
It's already in the DLC. It's confirmed.
Would
'Cause
you
I'm
say
looking-
that that's probably one of the strongest poison types, though? For it in itself, like, I mean, if you think about some of the top, like, 3, or even the top 10, anywhere near, you know, the top poison type, because if you think about it, poison type
competitive-
Pokemon are hardly used anymore.
Competitively
From what
for
I've seen.
Amoongus, 100%. It's so damn good with Regenerator, and it's just a physical. Like you can make it to a physical wall or a special wall, one of the two, but it's one of those Pokemon where it can actually serve really well.
Do you
Against-
think it might overtake Toxicity as it is now?
I would
Even
say
with the G-Max form and everything.
even with the G-Max form, it's debatable, but I can see it competing, like I said, with fairy types, you know, such as Clefable, obviously, and
Mhm.
and then you have, you know, well, Rotom Wash obviously is another Pokemon that was discussed, and Ferrothorn. I mean, maybe you could, but you got to be like, you know, super, you know, predictive on what it's gonna do. And I can actually pop up Smogon here right now. I can look at the overused tier. I can actually look at it and see who can. I mean, Amoongus is just a really good fucking Pokemon in general, just to have on your team.
That's what I heard, and that's why I was curious because, you know, in its own, right now, even with, like, you know, type advantage and disadvantage, like I said, you never know what's going to happen based off of match, just because, for one, skill using the Pokemon, you know, planning ahead for every single one.
Yeah, Tyranitar,
and every single
100%.
type
It'll
disadvantage.
overpower Tyranitar, 100%.
Yeah. The reason why I was asking was because, it's very rare right now, especially, that a toxic type Pokemon or a poison type Pokemon at all even makes it even close to competitive. Like I said, top choice would have been for me to counteract, poison type would have probably been Ferrothorn, because I've heard that one was
Ferrothorn.
good.
Ferrothorn is
I'm like,
up there. That and Amoonguss are like the top two OU grass wall Pokemon to use.
And then that's when I was like, I'm thinking back to the good old days, when people were sleeping on one Pokemon in particular. This Pokemon that I'm about to mention, I could potentially see it if it got revitalized right now. I think it could potentially go far, depending upon how they would technically classify it. And this is a grass and poison type before it even gets a Galarian form.
Oh.
I'm thinking Cacturne and Cacnea.
Oh, actually, Cacturne is a grass dark type. But if you're talking about Galarian forms, maybe
if it was given the Galarian form,
water poison.
Before final decision, it might be,
water poison. That's how I would see it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Cacturne and Cacnea, they're both obviously, like I say, I think their ability, I think Dry Skin, wasn't Dry Skin one of their hidden abilities, if I wasn't mistaken? I don't know, that might be me.
I believe so.
It might be me.
But the reason why I ask about Cacturne and Cacnea, they're cactuses, so I figured instead of being
cacti.
the grass type, I could possibly see them being revamped as either ground or even potentially a fire poison type, just for Galarian form alone.
Oh, okay, that's solid.
Could you see how it would kind of balance it, but also off-put it at the same time?
Fire poison? Yeah, that would be super weak to ground. I know that for sure, but
yeah, for sure. But if you threw it in the ground and poison, that would kind of, I don't know.
Oh,
like I said, I'm just reading through all this stuff. And
we'll see come by June 17th.
they make some good points as towards balancing them and ideas to push them forward. But one question that kept popping up over and over again while I was reading through these things is eventually, they would want something to have one Pokemon game. It could be Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Sword in one. But, the big thing is, with Pokemon Sword and Shield being the first ever Pokemon games to actually have a DLC, it could be a good idea to kind of expand on Pokemon Sword and Shield, as is with the first DLCs. We'll see how they go, because initially they're bringing back, 6 to 7, maybe 10 to 18 different types of Pokemon across the board. This is entirely across the board, and I'm just calling this off of recollection of what I've read. They thought it would be a good idea to continue to expand upon Pokemon Sword and Shield as DLCs continue to progress.
That's where the National Dex whole thing came in, too.
Gradually bring back every Pokemon of every gen, but have it more balanced. Certain Pokemon that didn't seem to have an actual, correct type labeling get retyped, and maybe, it would broaden the horizon towards competitive playing.
Yeah, just change the landscape a little bit. Yeah, I can.
They want to see how well, something that was trash back in the day come in, be retyped, and potentially actually grow as a Pokemon.
Oh, like Galarian Corsola, for example.
Think about it. Oh yeah, every single Pokemon. If you think about it, all the ideas behind them were phenomenal. You see them in the anime, you see them in the manga. Some of them get mentioned once or twice. And they seem to be really good Pokemon, either way, for competitive matches. But then you get, into an actual match with them, and you're like, oh my god, this is trash, get it out of my party. And you kick it to the back of the PC, and you never see it again.
For
example, Galarian Beedrill. That could be one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could probably see that. Like I said, maybe I would say I know it'll keep the poison type, but as for the Oh, I don't know actually.
I would revamp it for probably.
Actually,
like...
let me reverse that. I'll keep its bug type, but for the B part, let me see. Have it turn into a dark type. Just like make it turn into like a wasp or something. Well, then again, it is poison type, but
like it slowly weakens instead of like poisoning off an opponent.
I mean, it'll still have
it
poison
slowly
moves.
starts
Don't get me wrong.
It's sapping its strength, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, it'll still keep a poison moves. Like, don't get me wrong, but
Something
yeah,
that
like you were
actually
saying,
affects
I
the
feel
stat
like
to kind of balance it and give it a place.
yeah, definitely. But
So they could do something like that and kind of expand upon it.
Mm-hmm. But as much as I'd love to talk about more about this, I gotta go eat here, so I hate to break up the conversation, but way past the, well, actually, no, hour 24 minutes. It's okay. That's actually perfect, because the last 20 minutes, I kind of ran out of things, so I'm kind of glad you kind of filled this in and filled it for Matt, though, which, like I said, you messaged me.
Got, like, a bunch of crap, man.
We'll definitely talk about this.
That I keep looking at, man.
Hey, next show, we'll definitely keep talking about this, for sure. But...
I mean, are they bad topics?
oh, no. Any topic is a good topic on the, not bad yet, but, on that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in for episode number 12. This episode will be up on YouTube, hopefully by tomorrow, if not, then the next day after that. So, Penguin, Ice, thank you guys, as always. You guys are awesome. And I'm Kyle the Pug, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the Twitch side, and... if you guys want to be on the YouTube side, I'll see you guys the next time I upload an episode. So, on that note, shout out to Mama Pug, the real MVP in the background. And as always, I will see you guys later. So, love you. #PugBark. Bye!